Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about the fourth movie in the Welcome to the Blumhouse series, Nocturne. Before we begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts were if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This stars Sydney Sweeney and Madison Iseman as sisters Juliet and Vivian, both of whom grew up playing piano and are about to graduate high school. They both prepare for their final performance at the school, but Juliet is frustrated by Vivian constantly overshadowing her. However, when she discovers a book once owned by a recently deceased classmate, it sets off a chain of events that swings in her favor, though not without its consequences. This was released yesterday along with Evil Eye, which I already reviewed, and is written and directed by Sue Kirk in her feature debut. And it feels like a mix of two movies, Suspiria and Black Swan, though with a more teen drama aspect to it. I even thought a little bit about The Perfection, which was on Netflix last year, which itself was also influenced by Black Swan. This deals with themes of obsession, as Juliet wants to outdo her sister, and she's willing to go to any lengths possible to accomplish that. So I thought that the film handled this well. For example, she changes her piece for her final performance at the last second to the same piece that Vivian's playing, and it's mainly to make the point that she can play it better. And any scene where we focus on the relationship between the two sisters crumbling, I thought was solid. You can really feel the tension due to the score, the tight camera angles, Sue Kirk's direction, as well as the performances. I thought both Sydney Sweeney and Madison Iseman were excellent here. The dynamic between the two sisters is that Juliet's more quiet and reserved, while Vivian is outgoing and popular, and seems to be able to do anything she wants. And watching these polar opposites clash were some of the stronger scenes here. Unfortunately, like most of the other Welcome to the Blumhouse movies, this didn't totally work for me. Despite some great moments of tension, it never felt like it fully delivered on its premise. One area where I felt it could have been stronger was its handling of its supernatural elements. Juliet finds this book, but we never fully understand how this book works or what the extent of its powers are. She'll have visions of these creepy images from time to time, and they'll bear some similarities to these demonic-looking drawings that we see in the book, but the film only leans into these elements sparingly. It leaves us asking a lot of questions as to the meaning behind these images, but we never really get a proper explanation. Now, I'm good with movies leaving things fairly open-ended, but it also needs to give us enough to work with so that we can potentially put some of the pieces of the puzzle together. And we never got that here. We know there are things written in the book and we'll see these flashing lights or weird images, but only every so often. And at times it felt like an afterthought. It barely even establishes what the rules of this book are. It's just weird stuff happens and luck's now on her side. And a lot of the movie felt like setup. It isn't until about a half hour in or so until it finally starts to grab you, and even then, there's still such a slow burning element to it that it can lead to some pacing issues. The confrontations between Juliet and Vivian will sometimes be few and far in between, which is a shame because those were some of the best moments in the movie. There will instead be more of a focus on Juliet on her own, or we'll see her interacting with other characters like her music teacher, or she runs into Vivian's boyfriend, but it felt like there were only one or two really big moments with each of these characters. We see them a lot, but there's only so many emotional peaks. And those big moments wouldn't be until the second half, and I would have liked for them to have come sooner. So that way the second half could have explored the supernatural elements even further and some of the fallout from the more emotional scenes. Unfortunately, there's a lot here that's left to be desired. Also, while Sydney Sweeney's performance was very good, I would have liked to have learned a little more about Juliet. I get the whole point of her character is that she's often in other people's shadows and her reserved nature kind of adds to it, but she rarely opens up, and again, it gives us little to work with as far as why we should be so invested in her. We'll get a few moments here and there, but I felt we only got so many moments before the final few minutes where her personality really developed, and I would have just liked more there. It would have made for a much more engaging experience. This is another disappointing entry in the Welcome to the Blumhouse series. Not terrible, but certainly nothing I cared for either. While the performances were very good and it did have an interesting premise, it never felt like it fully explored said premise. A lot of it felt like setup, and we only got so many intriguing or tense sequences that honed in on the twisted elements of its supernatural side. It ultimately falls flat and leaves you asking too many questions. I wouldn't recommend this one. Nocturne gets a 5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Nocturne or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the story? Did you find it creepy? And for those of you who play music, do you have a favorite instrument to play? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.